The push toward electrification means the need for lithium is growing, and Piedmont Lithium is hoping to mine more of it here in the U.S. Joining us now is Piedmont Lithium CEO Keith Phillips. Keith, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, Caroline, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So we know, Keith, the demand situation, it's shifting into high gear as so many of these EV makers so many automakers have lofty goals in the EV space. But bring us up to speed in terms of the supply side of things and your role in it.
Yeah, there is a disconnect. Demand is booming. As you say, last year, electric vehicle sales doubled globally. So you have a business growing 100%. It won't grow 100% this year, but very rapid growth really for the next couple decades as we're going to electrify the entire automotive business, one of the biggest businesses in the world. The bad news is it takes a long time to bring a mineral resource online to production. So it takes a couple of years to build a car plant or a battery plant or a cathode plant. It typically takes a decade or more to bring a mine onto production. It's just a long process of geology and metallurgy and permitting and funding and construction and ramp up, et cetera. So I think there will be shortfalls of lithium for at least the next decade. Prices have risen to record high levels in the last year or so. I think higher prices will be a reality for throughout the 2020s, which is great for us. And I think demand will continue to grow and we'll have a very robust business.
So the issue isn't a shortage of the elements. It's just the pace of mining and refining.
Yeah, there's a concept of crustal abundance. So in the Earth's crust, there's a lot of lithium. And if you look forward a couple decades, my view is by the 2040s, everybody will have an electric car. There will be plenty of lithium produced and recycled to fuel that need. But right now we have car companies and battery companies spending tens of billions of dollars building plants to produce EVs and to produce the batteries for them. And it's going to be very difficult to bring the mineral resource, the raw materials online, lithium and other things. It'll happen, it'll take time. I think there will be shortages for most of this decade. And again, that should lead to strong pricing for those of us who can produce.
So do you think that some of these car companies that have these lofty goals to make all of these EVs won't be able to because there just won't be batteries to power these cars?
Yeah, I think it'll be a struggle. It's going to be really interesting. And I think the car companies that will be most successful will be those that do the work required to lock up and secure supply of the raw materials they'll need. So a few years ago, the car companies relied on the battery companies and the cathode producers. You need the cathode materials and the batteries to secure the lithium. Increasingly, the car companies are reaching back to the producers, people like us, and building relationships and really trying to secure lithium raw material. We've taken the view that we have a lot of capital to raise to build our projects. And we've taken the view we'd like our customers to help invest in our business. So those are conversations we're having now. And I think different people in the supply chain have kind of evolved their thinking more or less aggressively along that continuum. But I think in time, you're going to see car companies investing very far upstream or be at risk of just not getting the material they need to get the batteries they need to make the cars they know they can sell.
So from what I understand, it's not just the extracting and refining of lithium that takes a long time, but also the regulatory process. I know you've had some kind of been slow going there for your mine in North Carolina. So bring us up to speed. What's the status of that? And I understand you're also looking outside of the U.S. now to mine.
Yeah, we're developing 4 large assets around the world. So one in Canada in the province of Quebec, one in Africa in Ghana. Those are both upstream mineral resource projects. And the current plan is in the near term to use that material to produce the lithium chemicals you need in the batteries. Then we have our Carolina Lithium project west of Charlotte in North Carolina. And we have a second chemical plant we're going to build in a southeastern state to be named later. We hope to have an announcement in the month of July. We're making good progress on that. We're excited about that. In North Carolina, we're really making very good progress with the permitting. I think there's a disconnect between market sentiment on that and reality, but it is a time-consuming process. We applied for our mine permit in August of 2021, so only 10 months ago. We hope to get that permit later this year. That would be actually competitively pretty good timing. It would take considerably longer in on federal government land in Nevada or in the province of Quebec or British Columbia or someplace like that. So it's going well, but it's a rigorous process. It's a reality for industrial America. We're confident we'll get through that. That'll be great. But the nature of our projects, the Quebec project will be pretty easy to start up next year. It's a restart of an existing asset. We think Ghana will be producing in 2024, our second chemical plant in 2025. So Carolina Lithium, while it's our largest project, it'll be the fourth project we bring online. And the Quebec project, we think, will be the first lithium producer in North America in decades to be starting. So we're very excited about that.
I do want to ask you, because Elon Musk was complaining about the price of lithium a couple months ago. He took to Twitter, as he does, and he was basically saying he might have to, or Tesla might have to get into mining and refining so that they can basically be directly at scale unless costs improve. Are you concerned about having to go head to head with Tesla?
No, listen, we have great respect for Tesla. The world's going to need a lot of lithium. If car companies want to invest upstream, that's terrific. We're open for business. We're happy to have conversations with them. It's not as easy as it sounds. And I had this conversation with an investor yesterday. It's not like you can go to the supermarket and pick up a lithium mine and just go build it. You need to go find one. So we have three, and we're having conversations with car companies and battery companies about them potentially helping fund it. But it's an effort to bring one of these things online, to really identify a mineral resource that makes sense, and to develop it takes really several years. So whether it's Tesla or other car companies, I do think you'll see them investing upstream. I think that'll be important for them. I think it'll be good. And it's a way to do two things for them. It's a way to secure supply, to make sure they can actually get the material they need for the batteries, and to control costs. We think at Carolina Lithium will produce lithium hydroxide for around $5,000 a ton. It sells today for $75,000 a ton. So if you're a car company, you have the opportunity to dramatically control your costs by investing upstream. And we think that'll become clearer and clearer to the OEMs over the next several months and quarters.
Keith, I do just want to ask you, going back to your plans to expand internationally, I was on your website a little bit ago, and I did see that you, or Piedmont, really promoted U.S. supply chains and the importance of U.S. supply chains in this business. So obviously your business has pivoted a bit with Quebec and with Ghana, but is a U.S. supply chain still the ultimate goal, or how has this slowdown in the regulatory process in North Carolina impacted, or how will it impact your business and supply chains?
Yeah, it's a great question. It really hasn't impacted us much. I mean, the permitting process is what it is. We initially, several years back, had a view that we'd be in production sooner, but the project had a lot smaller footprint. And we were able to get more land, build a bigger mineral resource, and ultimately develop a lot more potential. And because of that, it's taking longer, and we're comfortable with that. But our goal is very simple. We would like to be the biggest producer of lithium hydroxide in America. So that's our plan. In meeting with potential customers over the years, what's become obvious is our Carolina Lithium project is wonderful, but it isn't big enough to solve their problems. Their advice was go find some other mineral resources and get bigger. So we have the only active spodumene project, and spodumene is the mineral we're pursuing in the entire United States. There really aren't any others right now, but there is spodumene elsewhere in the world. So we had opportunities to invest in Quebec and in Ghana. And in Quebec, we'll ultimately build conversion capacity, lithium chemical capacity in Quebec down the road. That'll be important. But to be honest, I think the Biden administration, and I think a lot of Americans, think of Canada and North America as one regional market for these materials. So I view that as really one and the same. There's a lot of spodumene in Quebec. There'll be a lot of lithium production in Quebec. That'll virtually all come into the US market. So that's great. The material from Ghana, interestingly, we believe we can get the raw material from Ghana into the southeastern US for lower transport costs than for anywhere else in the world, including Quebec. So it was a natural source for us to find raw material we can bring into the United States to produce the lithium chemicals, which is our plan. So that's what's behind what we call LHP2, Lithium Hydroxide Plant 2, which will be in a southeastern U.S. state. We've looked at several. We've narrowed down the sites to 2 different states. We hope to make an announcement in the next month. But that will be very much U.S. lithium production, but fueled by raw material from Ghana. There isn't enough raw material in the U.S. to do it all alone. So bringing raw material in from Ghana is a wonderful opportunity, we think, to feed the U.S. supply chain.
Keith, I have to tell you, as a girl who grew up on the border in Buffalo, near the Canadian border, the hockey fans, the Sabres and Leafs, don't think of themselves as one and the same, but that's a different story. We look forward to hearing about your announcement next month on your 4th project. Hope you'll come back and tell us about it. Keith Phillips, CEO, Piedmont Lithium, thanks so much.
Thanks, Caroline. Thanks a lot.